This is on y'all kid. That's beautiful, yeah. She got a newborn.
While he was in the feds, you had the baby? Rod just got out the pen, and this girl has a newborn, so that means she was hopping around other people's penises. Shady as somehow, some way, you got pregnant.
To be honest with you, it
Carly, what? It's just her business. Yo, I don't got nothing to do with that, but I feel like
it's
you want to
not
disclose
Rod's
that.
child. It's not.
Then whose is it?
It's Kirk's baby.
Kirk who? Kirk who?
Kirk Ross.
What?
Hold on, whoa.
There won't be any surprises now that their marriage is formally dissolved since, as they say, once a cheater, always a cheater. Hold on to your wigs because Kirk seems to have committed the same degrading conduct that ended their previous romance, and Jasmine Washington is the one who initiated this breakup. After getting Jasmine pregnant for the second time, Kirk is covertly seeing her again. What a deja vu! When he was found, Kirk feigned to be tired of Rashida and to have always wanted to get away, but we all know that this is just a front for his dark little secret. This is how the drama began. After a turbulent 25 years, Rashida reportedly filed for divorce. This relationship has been a roller coaster from the start, I assure you, so let's stand back and call it quits. It's been a long time coming, I believe. Who could blame Rashida for having had enough of Kirk's lies? The widespread deception appears unavoidable. One of the most enduring couples on Lovin' and Hip Hop Atlanta is Kirk and Rashida, although their relationship has been damaged from the start due to Kirk's adultery. For instance, Kirk accused Rashida of cheating when she became pregnant in season 2, which is akin to calling the pot black. Kirk later cheated on Rashida on TV while on vacation in one of the most infamous moments in hip-hop and love history. Even worse, Kirk took a DNA test in season 3 in an attempt to prove he was Rashida's child's father. And in light of her mother's difficulties, how humiliating may it have been for Rashida. But that's what I call mama bear energy, since you might remember the day she crashed into Kirk on his motorcycle after a heated argument. Even though Kirk and Rashida had been together for years, it seems that his recent betrayal of Jasmine Washington was the final straw. Is she at fault? Jasmine has caused them to dispute in the past. In season 6, it was revealed that Kirk and Jasmine, who was then a stripper, had fathered a child. Despite their brief separation, Rashida found it in her heart to forgive him. Nonetheless, history is now being repeated. Given that Kirk has rekindled his secret connection with Jazz and that she is expecting their second kid, it's like witnessing a slow-motion disaster play out. Now that he is out here acting as though he has wanted to leave Rashida for years, Kirk is attempting to make this whole thing seem like he is the victim. But we all know that this is just a cover-up for his most recent transgression, classic infidelity. You pretend to have been upset the entire time when the conduct is caught. I think it's time for Rashida to break up with Kirk, and many of the show's viewers who have been following her journey attentively support her decision. After putting up with Kirk's pranks for far too long, Rashida appears to be deciding to prioritize her happiness and mental well-being. Let's talk about Kirk's behavior, though, which has been awful over the years. He portrayed Rashida's encouraging husband and manager on the sitcom, who was dedicated to assisting her in realizing her musical ambitions. Rashida Frost paced the living room with a determined gleam in her eye after learning of Kirk's infidelity, which left her reeling and damaged her trust. So she decided to show that if Kirk decided to play dirty, she could do the same to him. The loft was clearly quite luxurious. In order to ensure that the official announcement would be the talk of town, Rashida set up a press conference with cameras and reporters in attendance. She knew she had to make the announcement look like she was trying to get back in charge. Eagerly, it grew. Rashida approached the platform in a stunning garment that radiated confidence and attractiveness. Rashida has a cool demeanor with a dash of enthusiasm. She began by saying, "Thank you everyone for coming," in a composed yet animated manner. "I have some important information to disclose. Therefore, I want to be clear about what I will do next." As the media's interest increased, Rashida paused to consider the remarks. As many of you know, my relationship with Kirk Frost has recently faced some challenges, she said. Before Rashida's punchline, it's true Kirk has been unfaithful, the audience muttered and flashed in the air, but she wasn't finished yet. With a broad smile, she said, "This is where it gets interesting." That's when Rashida's new lover showed up. He was tall, handsome, and exuded a cool assurance that contrasted sharply with the chaos all around them. "I'm continuing my friendship with someone who has been a wonderful friend and companion, not just moving on." The journalists posed questions and took pictures with fresh vigor. One of them asked, "Who is he, and how did—" As she introduced him, Rashida's eyes gleamed with excitement. Adrian stood by Rashida, smiling warmly and shaking hands firmly, unfazed by the media frenzy. He was clearly anxious for attention and spoke with confidence. "Rashida and I grew closer after we were introduced by mutual acquaintances. Naturally, I'm pleased to support Rashida and be a part of her future because reporters were keen to find out more about her new relationship and how it fit into her public persona." Rashida answered with a mix of poise and playful defiance as the press conference drew to a close, clearly enjoying the opportunity to shift the topic. With their hands clasped in a symbol of unity and new beginnings, Rashida and Adrian departed together. As soon as Rashida took back control of her story, the cameras continued to flash. Even though her disclosure would undoubtedly garner media attention, Rashida was prepared. She had utilized Kirk's betrayal as a powerful statement of her own fortitude and preparedness for a fresh start. Rashida felt free as she strolled into the night after a tumultuous, seemingly roller coaster of a 25-year relationship. She felt ready to face whatever was ahead with Adrian by her side after enduring Kirk's adultery with fortitude and dignity. Rashida has finally had enough and is ready to file for divorce from her husband. Rumor has it that Rashida has gone past Kirk Frost's long-standing infidelity and dishonesty, which caused tension in their marriage. For a long time, Rashida has put up with Kirk's infidelity. One of the most well-known examples of Kirk's dubious actions is the betrayal he displays on screen while on a trip involving hip-hop and love. Rashida's pregnancy during season 2 was exceptional due to the severity of the tragedy and Kirk's blatant paternity fraud. Their relationship had been totally turned upside down by the drama bomb by the 3rd season. They had experienced many highs and lows in the public eye over the years, but Kirk's choice to use a DNA test to establish paternity only made things worse and startled Rashida. Their turbulent marriage also resulted in dramatic arguments with Rashida's mother, Shirlene, who famously ran over Kirk's motorcycle during an upset argument. Rashida seems ready to take back control of her life and move on after a marriage that has been nothing more than a dramatic soap opera. If the divorce rumors were true, it would be a big adjustment. Rashid, a show veteran, is commended for striking a balance between her work, her family, and her challenging relationship with Kirk. Rashida has had an amazing journey following years of betrayal, and many people are supporting her choice to break up with Kirk Frost. As she departs the tumultuous union, Rashida seems weary of being ruled by Kirk's adultery and dishonesty, choosing instead to put her happiness and mental well-being first. Kirk Frost and Rashida's nearly 25-year marriage is unquestionably one of the most dramatic and contentious pairings on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Rashida was pacing the living room, her pulse racing from the stories that had taken over her, shocked by what she had only heard the day before. Years of tumultuous ups and downs followed the introduction of the supporting spouse. The idea of such an abrupt betrayal broke her heart. Kirk, she took a deep breath and summoned the courage to confront her husband, who was having an affair that had a more direct impact on her than she could have imagined. Kirk, she talked a little weakly at first. "I have to hear the truth. Hearing gossip about you and my mother," Kirk's face went white for a moment, and he appeared genuinely confused. "Rashida, what are you talking about? You can't keep denying this. I have proof," she screamed, her rage mounting. "How could you damage us in this way? You're skulking around with my own mother when you were supposed to be my confidant and friend. In what way could you deceive me?" Kirk was clearly unprepared for the confrontation, as seen by his stammer. In a disbelieving manner, your mother said, "It's not what you think." As she waited for him to give an explanation, Rashida crossed her arms and fixed her gaze on him. The words appeared to become stuck in his throat as she searched for a way out of this drama. The mood of the conference was greatly affected by the betrayed confidence. Rashida stayed by Kirk's side for years after it was discovered in season 6 that he had fathered a child with Jasmine Washington, but it seems that his most recent betrayal of her was the